Rituals for Transformation, 108-Day Journey to Your Sacred Life. Journal entry, I guess, lesson, whatever you want to call it. I'm on day 13, and today's lesson is I thank my mind for its efforts to protect me, which sort of goes back to the last two lessons, tying them all together nicely. Because that was sort of the vibe I got from the last lesson with my inner critic, that it's my mind trying to protect me. So this ties it all together a little bit. I want to read a couple of things that popped out to me. And again, if you want to read the whole entire lesson, I'm just going to call it lesson for lack of a better word. You can get the book. I'm linking it in the description of the video. It's a great book. It's obviously been helping me a lot, and it seems like the lessons always come at the exact right time. So a couple things that popped out for me was that when you criticize yourself, basically it's your mind attempting to protect you, and that it's probably for something like survival, control, approval, pleasure, or the avoidance of pain. But this also hinders your evolution. And big bold print in the middle here, it says, the powerful, clear, timeless you will take it from here. So basically the intention today with the meditation was to sort of let the mind have a break from having so much control, and letting your mind take a rest and giving more power to your actual true self and your higher self. So with me, I was trying to sort of get in tune with that, my higher self, and trusting myself that I'm making the right decisions in life and following my intuition, which for me, I always try to rely heavily on my intuition, and sometimes my mind talks me out of it because of I've said in a couple of previous videos, I'm very logical. I like to weigh the pros and the cons, and sometimes my higher self or my intuition will say one thing, but then when I look at it on paper, it doesn't look right, so I go with a different decision. So anyway, my intention for today is to trust my higher self and to give my mind a break. That's what I plan to do today. And a couple of things that popped out at me during my meditation was that we sort of already talked about this in the other lessons, was that your mind is trying to protect you. And for me specifically, my mind tries to protect me from past mistakes, things that have happened in my past that I can see patterns repeating sometimes, and it makes me think, I better be careful. You know what happened last time? That's my mind or my inner critic or whatever you want to call it speaking to me, saying, you remember last time when we had a situation similar to this and how that ended up. So it always makes me jump ahead several steps and try to predict what's going to come of the particular situation. So I always try to get ahead of it. So if there's something that resembles something that happened in my past, my mind may jump ahead and create a whole story that hasn't even happened yet, or may never happen, but that's my mind filling in the blanks. And this is another thing that can limit your growth, and it talks about this a little bit in the book too. But for me, I've always been a risk taker. I like to take risks. I like to try new things and experiment and just go out on a limb and see what happens. But again, sometimes my mind does get in the way of me doing these things and tries to tell me reasons why I can't be successful at something, or why something I may attempt could fail, and in a way almost talks me out of whatever the goal I had in mind was. So we have to be able to sort of, realize that our mind's only doing it to protect us, but in the end, if we don't ever take a risk, we're never going to grow. We're always going to be at the same place. Yeah, we'll be safe. Maybe. I mean, you never know. Like, you could have a tree fall on your house and kill you in your house, and you never took a risk. You're just sitting here safe. But if you don't take a risk, you're just going to stay at the same level that you're at now. You have to be able to sort of trust your intuition and trust your higher self to be able to move forward and progress in life and evolve, as the book says. And that is something that I fight myself on sometimes, is trying to let go of the control and the what ifs, and just take the leap into the unknown. So that is something that I've been working on. I mean, I'm good at it in a lot of areas. I'm not afraid to take a risk, but there's certain little things that I hold on to the what ifs on, and that those parts of my life I'm trying to be a little more open with letting my higher self guide me. Also, let's see. Oh, okay. And here's the question I was thinking, like, how do you know what is your inner self, your higher self? How do you connect with that? And for me, I only know a couple of ways. One of them is to meditate. So if you're somebody who never sits and lets yourself be quiet, and you never sit down and are never still, it's hard to connect with your higher self or your intuition. Honestly, meditation has really helped me to be able to connect to that. I think it improves your intuition. It connects you with your higher self. Also, if you're into prayer or praying or whatever you follow, that's another way to connect with your higher self or with source. So if you're the kind of person who just goes, and I do this sometimes too, I'm very guilty of it. I like to fill my time with things and schedules and never make time for quiet time. And I know a lot of us are like that, but if you are the kind of person who does that and you never make time to sit in silence and clear your mind, it's going to be very hard for you to be in touch with your higher self or your intuition and find out what are you really trying to tell yourself, and what is your mind trying to tell you. Now that I'm getting the difference between the mind and me, I'm starting to figure out that if I don't make that quiet time, I never hear from who I truly am, only from the mind. And the mind can just tell crazy stories and create scenarios that are not there. And you know how the mind works. It can just spin crazy stories out of proportion, which brings me to my final point of the day. My partner actually posted something really cool on Facebook this morning that ties into all this. So again, synchronicities. So I'm just going to read it and I'll post it for you guys to look at too. And it says, overthinking when it is necessary is one of the fastest ways to disconnect from the present moment and ruin your day. This post is just a gentle reminder to slow down, take a breath, and observe the environment around you. Overthinking can create problems that aren't even there. Every time you find yourself worrying unnecessarily, connect to your physical environment in some way, shape, or form. Take a breath, observe your surroundings. This stops overthinking in its tracks. It's much easier said than done at first, but consistent practice will yield results over time. And I am very guilty of overthinking. Again, that's why it's also important to take that time to be quiet and still and just check in with yourself and meditate if you can, pray if you can, even if it's for like 5 minutes, just really take the time and check in with yourself. So anyway, that's what I have for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.